Welcome back to Life on the Smallholding. It's what day is it? It's Tuesday. It's just after the bank holiday, so we are stepping up a gear again after a few days of just sort of chilling out for our anniversary and bank holiday. Stephen's actually been in work today, and I've been doing other things, getting ready for the few weeks that are coming with regards to college and school, things like that. Anyway, so it's late afternoon now, and I haven't got anything done from a smallholding perspective. I want to get the wine started that we talked about on the last video. As those of you that have been here before, or you've kind of been watching what's going on, I'm in the middle of a bit of a challenge at the moment. The challenge being I've got 2 full freezers and I need them to be empty. That's the short version of it. So every day I'm doing some pressure canning, which effectively gets meals in a jar or veg or meat in a jar on a shelf stable situation. And I can just leave it on the shelf and not worry about it, but my freezer's empty. So I'm trying to do something of that every day. Now, yesterday I did these wonderful jars here, which have got a lamb and sweet potato stew in one set of them, and pinto beans in the other set that you'll use, for example, like you would kidney beans in a chili con carne or something like that. That's all fine and well, but it did take quite a long time to get that prepared and cleaned up. And now I'm starting to panic that I'm running out of time. That's where this little beauty comes in. So this is an Instant Pot Pro Plus. They've just been released in the UK, and you can do pressure canning in this. So as well as the monster that you saw me canning in yesterday, the bigger one, this little one here can do 4 of these smaller jars. So these are the 500ml jars, as in not the 1 litre larger jars. These are the 500ml, and this can take 4 of those at any time. The good thing about this is you can just set it and forget it. So I'm going to get on and start doing some raw packed meat, which sounds disgusting when you think about it. But all that means is that it's not hot packed. So there's different forms of pressure canning. Again, like I said yesterday, I'll do different how-to videos on the specifics of this. But for now, just know that this little tool here is going to help me no end. And the reason that I've decided just to do the meat is when I'm trying to do the meals in a jar, I will get more of those done, but for now I just need to get going and start seeing a dent in the freezer. When you're just doing raw pack meat, you're literally putting raw meat into a jar, which then goes into the pressure canner, and it pressure cans it, seals it, and it can go on the shelf. That's all I need to do. And in order to be able to start making a dent on the freezer, I'm going to start doing that, so at least I feel as though I'm getting somewhere, because at the moment I can't see the wood for the trees. So I've got some duck breasts from our own ducks that we've raised here on the Smallholding, and also some turkey thighs, also from the Smallholding. We tend to raise all of our own meat except for beef. We don't have any cattle, any beast here on the Smallholding at all. So how we bring our beef in usually is we essentially do swaps for it. So if we do a job for somebody and they're farmers and they're cattle farmers, or they've got beef, they pay us in beef, that kind of thing. If all else fails, we do have somebody that we can go to and actually purchase beef from. That's a last resort, having to buy it. Prefer to barter. Right, so I'm going to get on with raw packing the duck and putting 4 cans, what they're called, jars, in the pressure canner and get that away, because then I want to get on with the country wines. We have been foraging again today, picked up a load more brambles. I've also got some plums as well. So as well as the rhubarb that was in the freezer, that's taken out a little bit of space in the freezer, which I'm pleased about. So there's plenty to be getting on with this afternoon, but not that much time. The beauty about this, it's so quick. So there is the duck. It's literally cut into relatively equal chunks. There's less in this one. There's less in this one and this one. And I'm going to be interested to see if these 2 seal just fine and these 2 struggle, because I have a tendency to overfill the jars sometimes. Anyway, this water that's in the Instant Pot, there's just a little bit in. We're following the canning guide in the instruction manual. I'm going to switch this on. Hang on. This is ridiculously easy now. So no, it's not that. Put the right one on, Tracy. It's canning. We're going to press on here to turn it to 75. It's not going to go at 75. It's going to be 1 hour and 15. That's canning, 1 hour and 15. We're leaving it on the max, and I'm going to go for a natural release. And that's it. Now I don't have to touch that until it's done now. Once it's come back down to temperature, we'll come back and have a look. Next up, I've got my Wilco fermentation bucket. This has got sterilised water in it, or Milton solution sterilised water in it. Just leaving that to sterilise for 15 minutes. I keep refreshing it every 24 hours when I need to do a big batch of sterilisation. We're going to start off with the rhubarb wine, because I've got some that's defrosted out of the freezer and I want to get that done first. Right, this is the recipe that we are following. It's the Booze River Cottage book by John Wright. So just to start off with, we're literally putting 1.5 sliced rhubarb stalks, which I've pre-sliced before I froze them on the food processor, and 1.3 kilos of granulated sugar in the sterilised fermenting bucket. So place in the bucket and stir in the sugar, cover with a lid or a clean tea towel and leave for 3 days, stirring once a day. So we will be back every day to stir it, and then we shall meet again when the next part of the recipe is needed. So I'm just going to get that put on now, and then we'll start with the blackberry. To make best use out of the sterilising liquid, because it's not cheap, I have filled some of what was in this bucket into this one, so this whole bucket will now be sterile. I've washed out a new one, and I'm going to tip what's left in there into here, because this solution stays sterile and sterilises everything for 24 hours. So that means that I can have these 3 buckets on the go from the same solution. Well, there was 2, there was 1 in each of those, so rather than end up wasting, I'm just going to do that. So into this sterilised bucket, I have got the rhubarb that's been in the freezer. It is thoroughly defrosted, as I say, and there's quite a bit of juice from it defrosting, which should be really helpful for making wine, actually. At least that's what I've read. So there's the right amount left in this bag that I've measured out. I took a little bit out on the side, so I'm going to use what's left to make a rhubarb chutney, actually. So I've just tipped all the contents in there, and I'm just adding in the sugar. This is just regular granulated sugar, nothing flash. Just added that straight in, and then using a sterilised tool. All of this is sterilised, remember. I just mixed it in, and then once that's mixed in quite well, then you just literally leave it for 3 days, but making sure you come back every single day to give it a good stir. I'll show you when I do that in the vlogs, but then we'll meet from a recipe point of view again, and I'll take you through the next stages of the recipe.
So I haven't got as much done as I'd like to, and tomorrow I've got another job on, so that'll take me away from here as well. But this is where we are so far with the pens. This is all up and fixed into place and solid. So it's just made out of 10 pallets, and I've got, if you'd like to follow me this way, it's all braced inside, so it's all solid. We had a problem with the rats getting in under here because that just goes straight outside into the orchard area. So I've blocked up that as best I can, so that's hopefully rat resistant from the outside. And then I think my idea is to put a door in this bit here, about up to there, along and down, so that we can open it. And I'll put something in there so that we can either open it from the outside of this pen, like up and over, or slide up and down, or what. I haven't decided on the mechanism of it yet, but it's just to save coming in on a night, because the ducks get freaked out when you disturb them on a night. So that's where we are with this one. So now I'm just going to clear all that from over there and design out the chicken pen for over there, and then if I need to, I'll go pick some wood tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow. But like I say, I've got another job on, but I can pick the wood up, and then I'll start that Thursday. So that's where we're at. Not as much done as I'd like, but it'll get there.
Now, obviously, Stephen is talking about making this as rat-proof as possible. We're essentially trying to stop them coming in from outside, especially when it's locked up on an evening and they're coming in and they're taking any food and things that are out. Obviously, the barn door's open. They can just walk in the barn door and come through the pallets if they wanted to. But the whole point is that we're trying to discourage anything coming in underneath the barn and from the side of the barn. And once the barn's all closed up on an evening, it'll be as little interruptions to the animals that are in here as possible. And also the gate there that Stephen was just talking about, if we can do that on an evening when we come in and lock up, we'll come in the barn door there, and as Stephen says, the ducks always get flustered and try and run away, so the chances are they would run out of the door if we tried to come in the pen. So if we're able to open and close that from the outside of the pallet but still inside the barn, that's going to be a really big bonus, because otherwise you're going to end up still having to go outside and chase the ducks back in when they've run outside and things like that.
We also had one comment asking if cutting a hole in it would compromise the structural integrity of the barn. Well, for the hole we're cutting in, the joint of the metal siding is like there, and if I cut a hole, it would be away from that, and it would cause no change to the structural integrity of the barn. It's built up about these big RSJs and these strong timbers, so it wouldn't even bother with that.
Could take these off and it would make absolutely no difference to the integrity of it anyway, would it? The
No.
For the barn itself, it was freestanding. They're just for visuals.
3 little holes, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I hope so. Anyway. It looks like we found where they're laying. I'm really pleased that we found those eggs because we are literally getting, today we've had no eggs. Oh no, we had one. One was laid in the hay bag that we'd put here that you guys saw us fill up and move. They will all be fresh actually because we've noticed that there's a white hen who keeps running up here, but we have not seen where she's been laid because we haven't been able to get to all of that. So we're hoping the sooner we can get this project finished, the better, because the sooner that they'll settle down back into lay. But interestingly, quite a few people have mentioned in the comments that their hens have slowed down or stopped producing as well. So it may well be the strange summer and weather that we've had. Who knows? But anyways, I'm really pleased that we've got those because it means that we've at least got eggs for our family. I'm not too worried about selling them even because, you know, it's always nice to supplement the income. But eggs for us, I'm not buying eggs, definitely not. We just have to go without. So as you can see, we've taken all of this away that was underneath here that needs a good sweep and a good clean out. Stephen's going to continue taking this platform down. We've just put it here for now because he's going to need some of these pallets to measure out from a template perspective. But next up is taking this, this platform down that was for the goats in the winter, if you're interested. These are the kind of anniversary presents we do around here.
Right, this is as far as we're getting tonight. So we've got all the back stripped out, all cleared up, and if you can have a look, there's quite a few bits what I want to fill in to make it a bit rodent proof. So I want to board off all down there. There's a few bits already down here where you can see to outside where the rats have been in and chewed through this like rubber stuff. So there's 2 bits missing there, so I need to block them off. But I think this is the design that we're sticking with. So we're going to put a door in there the same as the ducks. We've had to do it this way because the goats are going in this pen. So we need to leave room for the door to open. We have had an idea while we were going on with this, which then that takes the door out of play, but that's irrelevant. So we were on about getting a couple more of these hinges here and welding them onto this frame on here so we can take this door off, put it on there, and it'll come to here, and we'll just put another quarter pallet in there so that the goats can actually come out and see it at the barn because they're pretty like isolated in there. So we'll do that. But at the minute, this is the design we've got. This is I think what we're going to stick to. So I need to go and I've run out of pallets of this size. That's never happened to me before. And so I need to go and pick a few more of them up to finish that off. And also a problem we might have with the chickens is that they easy perch on something this high. So what we might have to do somehow is either net the top, maybe, or put perches in here, in this bit, and then just frame off that bit where the perches are so they can't jump. But they're going to easy jump on that anyway. I think we're going to have to net the whole thing because they do get on here, which is quite a bit higher than that. So problems, and we'll have to come up with some solutions, but I'm sure we will. So that's it for tonight. Like I say, I've got a busy job on tomorrow with the ridge tiles on the roof of the bar and the outdoor kitchen bit. So hopefully I won't be on that for too long and I can get in here and onto this and make my days off productive. Tracy's also got a lot planned for tomorrow in the garden and in the stores and canning and stuff. So we just put this short video out tomorrow and we'll catch up today and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow and see how we both get on.